I tell you so, Howard Stern, man. That motherfucking goddamn degenerate fucking cunt. I'll say that with no shame either. Man's a fucking foul-mouth immature. The man's immature, you know? He's like a fucking child. I'll tell you this much. There ain't no God while Howard Stern's walking the earth, I'll tell you that. Fuck it, I gotta go. Fucking Howard Stern. How about that? Howard Stern, huh? Fucking Howard Stern can kiss my ass in hell.
Wake up! Grab Russian with a little makeup. I discussed the way to shake up. Why'd you leave the kids up on the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to. Grab a Russian with a little makeup. You wanted to. I discussed the way to shake up. You wanted to. Why'd you leave the kids up on the table? You wanted to. Well, I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels deserve to.
Rock and roll forever.
What is up, my man?
What up, Dogtown?
All right. Well,
Sloppy hair today.
damn, we got some shit going on, huh? So, where do we even start?
What's going on?
What's going on? Actually, you know what? I think I have something here that needs to be brought up right away. And and I guess we were behind a curve here a little bit, but do you remember maybe a week or two ago, a couple of episodes of the Canned Chicken podcast? I don't know, like one or two ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about John Wick.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It comes up a few times on, yeah.
Right. And at one point I said something along the lines of they're either gonna the minute that that I saw John Wick, since the hotel got introduced, that they were gonna make a show out of it.
Oh, yeah, because I was telling you once they got to the hotel, I was out in like the movie, the franchise. I thought that was so stupid.
Yeah. And it's like I remember seeing that from the get-go. Right? Like I remember seeing that. I was like, okay, they're gonna try to do like some sort of cinematic universe here with the Continental being like the hub. I mean, it was kind of like you could see it miles away. Now, this is a few weeks old here. Apparently, this is some new stuff here. But so let's check this out. Let's just jump right in. Okay. And again, by the way, if you haven't figured this out already, this is the Canned Chicken podcast with me, SithLordFelix, and the always amazing Mr. Valentine.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Why are you gay?
So let's see this trailer. Here we go.
Can you dig it?
Let's take this house and everything that comes with it. Here we go.
Is that supposed to be John Wick, a younger John Wick?
No, of course not. They're not going to do that. They're going to give
weird.
us John Glick, you know, or whoever the fuck, some Johnny No Name, to be part of the Continental here. So
that looks too wacky for me.
Yeah, that looks absolutely atrocious. I definitely wanted to share that with you there. So, so this is my guess is that the show's going to be mediocre at best.
Yeah, that already looks like it.
And they're going to expect all the fanboys to like bust a load at just the mention of John, right?
Yeah, just because it's related under the same franchise.
We can't call John now. He's on deployment, or you know what I mean? He's in France right now. We can't call him. Okay, all right. He's in the desert.
And it looks like it had like, even with the clothing, I thought I was seeing some long leather jackets and some fros and stuff and long hippie hair. I was like, oh, is this going to be the 70s Continental? I feel like they're taking it back. Maybe that was just my take, you know. It looked a little bit from the fashion.
Let me mute muted.
that this. I bet you this is like, oh, it's 1976.
Oh wait, I don't know. That looks a little. Oh,
Oh,
1970s New York.
it's 1970s.
Good call. I
And
totally
you know
missed
what? I
that.
totally missed that in the beginning too. Right? Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my
In
god.
fact, I feel like we're watching a different trailer. This doesn't even look like the same one.
No, it's the same trailer.
Then yeah, we missed all this.
It's
I feel
'cause-
like I didn't see any of that. I don't remember that chick on the bed. Oh, I really. Okay, I remember from right here. That's funny. All that I didn't even
Yeah.
see all that, to be honest.
Beyond your
Yeah.
imagination.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. So
Listen,
wait.
Your brother stole something from me.
So they're bringing back the host guy.
Yeah, young host. And Mel Gibson, is that supposed to be
Long-haired guy.
Ian McShane's
Very
character?
dangerous people.
I think so.
Find him, because if you don't, I'll bring the weight of this whole institution down on you both. Sharon, show our guests the door.
Well, I think this is a bit of
I
a
really-
longer trailer, actually.
I feel like this is a different trailer. Yeah, it definitely is. Wow, the
Hey, show
Twin
the
Towers in
Towers.
the movie.
How are
Yeah,
we
right.
supposed to believe a guy in an ascot can pull this off?
Horrible line.
It's a cravat.
Even worse.
Clearly, yeah.
We have to
Oh, turn alert.
and I need all the help I can get. How are we supposed to believe a guy in an ascot can pull this off?
Oh,
It's a cravat.
If we're gonna take on the Continental,
we're gonna need help.
freak in that hotel will be after.
Need a lot of help.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's lovely.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, one of the secretaries is getting in with it.
Lots of guns. Brother Frankie. We have to strike first. And I need all the help I can get. How are we
Oh,
supposed
was
to
it
believe a
glitching
guy
too?
in
Every
an
2
ascot?
seconds, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, this is weird.
I'm over it. Go fuck
But this looks
yourself.
bad. Yeah,
Trailer.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Look
I'm
at
not-
this
I am
little,
not
yeah.
supposed-
Just call it the
What a
Mod
shame.
Squad. I liked it better when they did it the first time.
Yeah, right.
Then they
Mission
called it the Mod
Impossible.
Squad.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
total garbage.
I shan't be watching that.
No, I don't think I'll be watching that unless Hate Watch gets too big and then we have to find more stuff to hate. You know, have you
Yeah,
seen
so-
any other trailers? Anything else going on?
No, not really. Not that I don't know if this is going on or not. Just I haven't seen much this week.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the only other thing I have here, maybe we'll keep it short so we can just, concentrate on Hate Watch. But the only other thing I have really that I can think of, well, there's the Howard Stern thing. We should touch on that a little bit.
What is that? Yeah, what are you saying? Because I was sending you some Stern stuff this morning, just randomly.
Randomly, yeah. But he was in the news, basically calling himself woke. The reason why
Oh.
I'm woke is because I'm not asleep, because that's the opposite of woke or whatever the fuck. Baba
I
Booey.
heard that. Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, man. And then like I'm reading some of the comments, and like people are just eating it up. Like you could tell, it's like, yo, obviously you haven't listened to Stern. You have no idea what you're talking about. If it's like, oh, okay, he's woke. Go Howard. All right. Go listen to his commentary during the OJ trials. Tell me how woke OJ is. Every time, actually, just look up OJ impressions. Let's go down this rabbit hole, because this actually has me a little bit upset. Woke ass Howard Stern.
You look scared.
All
Never
right.
gonna give, never gonna give.
Howard Stern OJ impressions. Let's just look up that. Tell me how woke. Tell me how woke Howard Stern is. All right, and of course this is gonna be. Oh my God! Of course this is gonna be memory hold on a fuck you. You ain't getting away that easy. I will find this. I will find you.
Yeah, did you see one of the clips I sent you this morning was comedian Mark Normand on the Steve-O podcast. And Steve-O was a big guest on Howard Stern for a while, back in the day before the big switch. And even before he went to Sirius XM, Steve-O was saying that. So, yeah, it was funny. So when I saw that clip, I was like, oh, yeah, I almost forgot. Steve-O was on there way back in the day. But he's another guy that they just stopped calling back, you know, and returning his calls and shit.
Oh yeah, no, they totally did that. Now, Howard talks to the person who made the famous OJ prank call. That's all they're showing. Yeah, show off their celebrity. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, well, I heard a lot of the Howard stuff has been washed, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Here we go.
Talk about the OJ. So I get home yesterday. I turn on the TV to check out the OJ.
We're now the Quite Frankly 2 podcast.
There's a Captain Japan presiding with his computer. Rants.
Woke Howie, guys.
And he's on there. And I saw one report. Tomorrow, Captain Japan is going to have his parents.
No, yesterday they were in
Ito's
the
Captain Japan.
Yesterday they were in the courtroom and he was upset.
That's right.
They weren't going to get to see the opening argument.
You know what I say to that?
He was wrangling.
Here's what I say to this.
Here we go.
Wow.
That's right. You know why, Robin?
Why?
Oh, boy, that reek.
Did they cut it?
Oh,
No,
man.
you farted. No, you farted on the mic.
Oh,
Boy, snake eye, Howie.
Ooh,
you just cleared the studio.
oh, stinks in here, Robin. Ooh.
I wonder why.
He
This
farted.
guy, can you imagine? You see, this is what I mean with these judges now. They're looking to be celebrities.
Why would his parents? They don't come to any other case.
What? That is an obscenity. Why is the judge's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rito, what are they doing in there? What is going on at that trial? Him with the computer. Did you see the setup in this courtroom? Forget about whether OJ's guilty or innocent. We all know he's guilty.
You don't even buy the new alibi.
No.
I'm
Did
waiting
you
for them.
see the
I'm waiting
setup?
for him to start
They
doing
got
the
computers
OJ.
in there. I'm going to tell you what that computer equipment is worth.
Yeah, I wonder if this is even one of those clips.
$500,000. Easily.
Yeah, right.
Easily.
Yeah.
Did you see what that computer can do in there?
Yes, I was reading about it yesterday.
They're all hooked up with big video screens. You would think this is a rock concert they're putting on.
Yeah.
They got
Maybe this
projection
isn't the
TV. They got the court reporters wired in right to Lance Ito's little computer there. They can see evidence on that
Unbelievable.
computer.
And it's all tied in so that the cameras at home can pick up evidence.
You know what you should look for? Howard
This
Stern.
TV equipment is
Mama
fancier than the
Buka
taping
Day.
of Roseanne. You know that? I was talking to a guy
That would
that's
be
involved
a
in taping
better
of Roseanne. He says, we don't have equipment that good.
Yeah.
I guarantee we won't find that.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff has been taken down and scrubbed and edited.
It's like Justice Unplugged. You ever see the MTV Unplugged? This is Justice Unplugged.
We would like to see some unplugged justice for a change. There's too much electricity.
Yeah, the acoustic Judge Ito. Too much. I'm watching this. I'm going out of my mind.
In the background.
And then
Jack
I'm
in the
watching. I
Joker.
turn it on, and lo and behold, they're calling witnesses, and they say we're going to be calling Tawny Katane, who is of course our friend, also the star of Hercules. And I heard the name Steve Leeds mentioned as a witness.
No, you didn't.
Steve Leeds, the record guy we know.
Really?
I got to call him.
Really? Robin.
Parents into the courtroom to
How
watch him.
professional is that?
He thinks he's a rock star.
Welcome to my carnival.
Is this
Right.
a play?
This be greatest trial of my career.
Here we go.
I
Woke
can see
Howie.
inviting
Here we
your
go.
parents to the opening night of a play.
Yeah.
But not the opening arguments of a murder trial.
Yeah, I don't.
Now, anybody who remembers the OJ trial knows that Judge Ito did not speak like that. Oh, so sorry. Oh, so sorry. He did not talk like that. All right. That he spoke like he was from California. I will be presiding over these hearings today. Mr. Simpson, please stand up and you may be arraigned. That's how Judge Ito taught. Am I right?
No, absolutely. A total California type dude.
Yeah. And this wasn't exclusive to Howard Stern, by the way. There were tons of people who were doing like Judge Ito skits around that time, And for some weird reason, they did that shit. Oh, it's on me, Judge Ito. You know, like it was embarrassing. Like, me, a kid, I was like, this is dumb. That's not how he talks.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Especially because that case was so public.
Yeah. Even if he had a slight accent, I could see them exaggerating it. It's like, okay, I get it. They're exaggerating it. It's funny. This dude's like straight American accent. That was like, there's like nothing there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I thought that was great. But let me see.
Get it? We get to a front row seat, Mama-san. People at home, don't adjust your TV cutout. I am Yarrow. I mean, and so conscious of the camera.
The Jackie left gets
Ito
me.
has a monitor so he can see how he looks on TV. I don't even have that on the E! show. I don't want to see how I look.
I want to look at the dairies.
Well, where rushes? No, that's film.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
All right. Okay.
So anyway, here is Judge Ito. The only thing the jurors heard yesterday were the instructions from the judge.
So yeah, I think here's Judge Ito talking for real now.
Open. Undo.
Oh wait, no, that's not.
Come on.
That's not
rough show business.
Rough show business.
You must base your decision
look
on the facts and the law.
That's Judge Ito.
You have two duties to perform. First,
Duty. Hey, Jackie, duty.
you must determine the facts from the evidence received in the trial and not from any other source.
Where do you hear the accent?
A fact is something proved directly or circumstantially by the evidence or by stipulation.
We know that.
A stipulation.
Like that jury's going to follow this.
Yeah, what is stipulation?
This is cost.
I'm going to see.
put
I'm
all
going to
this,
get to
computer equipment into
I'm
this
gonna get to
courtroom.
him doing his OJ
He's a
stuff.
white lawyer speak as good as Johnny.
Oh, here we go. Perfect.
And he is.
He referring to Johnny.
Howie. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm sure Johnny Cochran sounded just like that, didn't he?
Not to them.
I love the way you spell your name with an I-E.
Yeah. Johnny.
What cracks me up is everybody referring to Johnny. It sounds like they're talking about a little boy when they actually.
Johnny.
Well, Johnny, really?
Johnny
can read.
Yeah, how about becoming John?
Yeah, at your age.
Johnny. That Johnny is a fine man. Now, they say our people can't aspire. None of these here white lawyers speak as good as Johnny. And he is good. Look at that suit. That is a fine brother. That's the way all brothers should dress.
Yes,
Fucking Jackie.
Ooh, there's OJ's underwear.
Now, you ladies of the jury looking especially fine today, so I would like to make a special presentation. Oh, Johnny! Say it.
You're in a trance.
Yeah, I'm trans-hypnotized.
Let me show you my ensemble.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows OJ Simpson knows he does not talk like that.
Right. Yeah, the juice.
Say what you want, like whether you believe he did what he did or whatever. The dude spoke whitey boy, to be as racist as these other clowns. But no, he spoke American.
Right.
Be colorless here. Sounded like American. He did not say like this. Oh, excuse me, silly man. Like doing a soft shoe and shit. That is not OJ. That's not him. But every single impression of OJ, this is for years. This is just one small example. And I would defer to I know, quite frankly, this is a shout out to them. They have no clue who we are, but shout out to them. They're gonna get their. I hope they jump on this because they will definitely. I think they'll be able to dissect this like way better than I could. This is just me pulling this up random on YouTube right now. And we might get struck down for that shit, but I'm going to take the fucking chance because like literally again, people are like, oh, Howard's so woke. God bless him. All this shit. Like they're talking it up. Like he's actually he's really woke. He's not woke, guys. He's just bending the knee. It's a little different. He's trying not to get canceled. That's why he's trying to scrub this shit.
Yeah, because he definitely went online and took a lot of stuff down. The Dana Plato for the actress, who then he gets blamed for her killing herself because of her appearance there. Which I heard that appearance. I don't think that was the case. That poor girl had an issue with drugs, even at the time of that interviews. But no, exactly. That's just one example of stuff that he goes into the archives and has stricken. You can't hear those episodes anymore unless they're like pirated or someone already had somebody else post them.
Actually who has those episodes?
No.
This motherfucker has them all. I archived them shits, and I sent you the link on how to do those forever ago. Because guess
Yeah,
what?
and it wouldn't open on my end, you know.
Look, I'm gonna put my cards out on the table, right? No, that's not how OJ sounded. That's not how Judge Ito sounded. Guess what? I thought the shit was funny. All right, I'm not like I thought the shit was funny. I enjoyed listening to the show. I don't think Howard Stern is going to go out there and put Japanese people in camps, and and I don't think he's going to start whipping black people because he hates them and all this shit because of his skits. Okay, so I understand. Like I used to like that old Howard. That shit was funny.
Yeah.
Maybe not to you. If you're offended by it, I get it, especially in this day and age. But back then, that shit was funny. Black people laughed at it. Japanese people laughed. Everybody fucking laughed at it. If you were in New York, you were laughing at it. And if you're in New York, it's everybody. It's not, there's not one race. Like, you know what I mean? There's I don't think there is a dominant race in NYC. I don't know if we could say that. Could we?
Well, it's America's melting pot. We can say that.
Pot, right? Yeah. I mean, it's just it's almost like a mini world. A mini globe. Like all these other countries, everything is in there. You got India, you got Pakistan, you got Chinese, you got Japanese, you got Muslims, Catholics, Protestants, you know what I mean? You got white pussy, black pussy, Spanish pussy, yellow pussy, you got snapping pussy, you got all that shit in New York City. It's all of it. It's all of it.
Hell yeah.
So so everybody enjoyed Howard Stern. He was a king of New York for a good minute.
Yeah.
But for him to now be like, no, hey man, I'm down with the cause, man. ever since the beginning. So that's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
There's also, let me see. Even go to private parts.
I don't know. Something in me just snapped. My name is Howard Stern, and welcome to the new morning show. And we have a new feature for you. This is something special. We have a traffic copter now here at WWW.
Let's
go up to Mama Look a Boo Boo Day in the traffic copter. Mama, are you there? Hello? Mama? Oh. Hello?
Yes, hello. This is Mama Look a Boo Boo Day, the only black traffic reporter in the Detroit area, I'm proud to say.
That's a black reporter who doesn't have a job because Howard Stern disappropriated it.
Yeah,
Kill.
The white man.
I'm Eugene, Mama Look a Boo Boo Day. Eugene is my pen name because I wrote this while I was in the pen. Okay, here we go.
Wow.
Kill the white man. Kill him until he is dead. Kill the white man. Thank you.
Oh no, you ain't getting me with that fucking thing. All right, no copyright strike there.
No, especially with Hendrix too. They'll come after you.
Yeah, totally. But this is that's
Yeah,
again,
this days gone by. It's just
again,
how it's being such a phony about it.
He's being a phony, but I enjoy them. I like the movie. And again, listen, quite frankly, I enjoy them shitting on Private Parts because they do a really good job of that. I still like the movie, you know what I mean? But I don't want to take it. But when they start breaking down, all this is bullshit for one, this, that, or the other, and they gloss over so much and blah, 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 blah. I get it.
Yeah, and how he got divorced right after the movie.
Oh, my God.
Right? It's the ultimate love story, and then they're divorced 6 months later, maybe within the year.
Yeah, man. No, that was, I remember that shit, too, when they were going to get a divorce. And I remember, I was like, damn, that totally took away, because that was one of the things I liked about the movie. I call me hokey, but I like that he was, the thread was that he was faithful to his wife, and he was a normal guy outside of the radio for the most part. And
I think that's what saved the movie for a lot of people, because it's what other story do you have there? So they made it this where he had faithful love story, marriage, family thing. They took it
Right.
that angle, even though there was some scenes in there like the Kabasa lady and all that stuff, the deep throat lady. But yeah, at the end of the day, right, that was like a feel good, wholesome marriage movie. You know what I mean? Like, oh, but I
Nice
love
little
my wife.
rom-com.
We did it together. Yes. Basically, yeah, you said it.
An edgy rom-com, you know, because there were blank doodle doo. I mean, that shit, I fucking fell out in the theater. Like,
Yeah,
that
sure.
scene, you know, blank Willow. You know,
Yeah, my
all that.
dad listened to Stern in the morning, like when I was real young, like going to grade school and shit, you know, listening to a good hour of the morning, you know, and my father being like, you know, you're not allowed to repeat what you hear on the radio in school, you know, because even he knew, he was like, this is some edgy shit here. My kids are in the back seat or eating cereal, but he left it on. So I grew up listening to all that shit, Fart Man, the Jackie Puppet, and I was like 7, 8 years old, you know, even let's just say at his peak, 8, 9 years old, you know, and I'm listening to all this
That's
shit.
like the perfect audience, by the way. For
Yes, because I loved
You're not
Fart
allowed
Man.
to listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fart Man. Like now, and everyone's telling yo, drop that Fart Man shit. Everyone try to tell him, stop doing Fart Man, bro.
Yeah,
Stop doing Fart Man. You know
and
what
he
I mean?
almost did the movie, right?
Yeah, man. And
But no, so I grew up on all that stuff, and I remember my dad being like, because you know, when you're a kid, you fucking walk around, you hear shit. I thought Fart Man was the most hilarious thing.
yeah,
And then
it
the
was fucking
Jackie
great.
Puppet, you know, like a man was stabbed today on the subway, and the Jackie Puppet was like, ah! And then Billy West back there just laughing it up. And I used to think that was, how absurd is that? Like, who is that laughing at this horrible story? And my dad would be like, just don't pay attention and don't repeat this in school. So
Or
that was
the
a
best
good part of my youth.
the one with Gottfried, man. When Gilbert Gottfried, R.I.P. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Gilbert Gottfried, when he was fucking, they were trying. Robin couldn't get through the news because I think it was him and Jackie or.
Oh, that
him
was
and
a
Artie.
late. It was him and Artie, right? That was a later
It was him and Artie.
episode.
They couldn't get through the news. It was all tragic, and it was like every news story was more tragic than the last. It was like the way Robin set it up, and it was like the sadder the story was, the fucking harder they laughed. It was that, you know, that shit was classic. Man, you know what? I'm gonna look that shit up. Let me see if I can find that. They took away. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
even
trying
his
to.
UPN 9 show when he had the Stern show, which was competing against Saturday Night Live. You know, Saturday Night Live was always, because my grandmother's on, you know, Saturday night, the family, my aunts and uncles, they're not watching Stern, you know what I mean? Maybe privately my uncles were or whatever, like, but, you know, it's Saturday night, everyone's playing cards or, you know, summer night or whatever. So SNL was really always on. But as I get older, I would try to watch those Stern episodes because there was always girls in bikinis and shit like that. I didn't think the skits were very funny. Like when he would mock Roseanne Barr or even some wacky stuff. They weren't like ha funny. They were just more like what the fuck funny. But he would have like Gilbert Gottfried on, which was great, especially if he was doing like Gilbert Dice Clay and shit like that.
Oh.
And the girls. And he always had, at that age, you know what I mean? Shit, I probably, you know, a fucking couple of wax sessions after watching UPN 9, the Bongo Butt Fury or whatever that shit was.
Yeah. But
That was,
you want to know
that was like the
something
first
too?
time to see babes in bikinis.
I know. Yeah. He did make that cool. He did make that cool, especially on TV. The one thing about Gilbert Gottfried is like his impressions, they're better every time. The more you watch it, the better it gets. You understand what I'm saying? Because I remember the first time I saw him do Andrew Dice Clay, I'm like, whatever, he's just exaggerating it. But it's like the more I watch it, I'm like, actually, he actually kind of has it perfect. You know, there's a point where he turns it up on purpose, and you can tell. But he starts it like fucking real, man. Like, holy shit, he kind of has it down. Like, a lot of his impressions are like that. But
those are great. Those were the shit.
This is what you get to look for.
This is real.
Yeah.
I'll get to the news.
It is weird to think that James Brown can't be even put to sleep. I mean, you put the final rest.
So contentious they can't even put him in the ground.
He's even the hardest working dead guy.
Hardy.
They changed his clothes they were having a bunch of different funerals and they changed his clothes.
Outfit change.
Yes.
Yes.
What are you talking about? Of course you do.
Gilbert's like, I'm not even change my clothes for my wedding. Let alone that.
Also in the news, a guy was trying to embezzle money from Yoko Ono.
I read about that, yes.
You know, clean her out.
They have released. You think anybody can have it?
I'd like to fuck her chink tits. Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, shit. All right. So, yeah, I guess we'll stop it there. As far
No,
as
but that is legendary. But that's great. I think that's the clip where he goes on to do a John Lennon voice. He's like, yo, I want to fuck your droopy tits. I remember that line. I thought that line was funny.
Yeah, man. And, you know, like, and credit to Howard, the best thing that he could do, tell me how smart this decision is. You have Gilbert Gottfried come in regularly out of love, for the most part, come in, get all that promo or whatnot, but do such great skits, bring a lot of comedy in there. What does Howard do? Fucking stops inviting him to the show.
Yeah.
Cuts him off of the show.
Big mistake.
No fucking there's like no justification. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know behind the scenes. Maybe Gilbert fuck Beth. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you a real man. You know, just fucking doing a Howard Stern impression.
Well,
Yeah, right.
to Gilbert's credit, he was also like a loving family man and all that stuff with his kids and his wife. And, you know, so I always heard, because he got asked a lot too. Gilbert would always get asked by Stern fans, like, why do you think you're not back on the show? And he would always say, because like a lot of the other people say, like, oh, because Howard was doing that new direction. He didn't want to take a chance with me having on and being risky. And because there was rumors that Gilbert was spitting on cupcakes. So he was like, maybe, you know, just, I don't know, disrespectful to the Sirius XM building in some way. There was like, those were like the two main things that people were speculating. Yeah, exactly. But he always just said, nah, he just knows Howard's not doing that kind of comedy anymore.
Yeah. Yep. He wanted to be the world's best interviewer. He failed miserably.
Yeah, he did. People say that too. And there was a point where Howard was becoming a good interviewer, except for the traits that make him the worst interviewer now, if that makes sense. Because even when he was good, he always had those things where he's like, I got to play psychiatrist. So I got to get that Barbara Walters moment where it's like there's going to be these top, celebrities in here telling me their most intimate stuff on the air. Maybe they'll cry. Maybe they won't cry. Maybe we'll have a breakthrough and we'll connect on something. He would do that a little bit in some of those interviews, but Artie would still be in there. Fred was there. Robin was still on mic. So the interviews would switch a little bit. And like overall, I was like, wow, that was a fucking good interview. I never even really cared about so-and-so, but now I like so-and-so because of the Howard interview. But now Howard bases pretty much his whole show about getting the top of the top A-listers and playing psychiatrist. It's not even like he's answering interested stuff and making jokes anymore. It's more just like how that Springsteen was cringy. People love the Springsteen stuff. I thought it was bad because Howard, again, just being like, oh, so when your dad died, how'd that make you feel? I mean, you must have wrote that song thinking about your father and if he ever loved you. And it's like, he asked that to all. It's like, listen, exactly, Fred playing the strings.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wish I had like the Robin music. Yeah, because you start playing the da 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 da, the trumpets.
Yeah. But Howard
forever.
really thinks he's a psychiatrist now. You know what I mean? To the point where the interviews now are cringy. I can't even really get through them. It's been that Springsteen one was rough. I powered through, and Springsteen's another one who kind of broke my heart. Springsteen, he really was at a time the workers' man hero, and he's another one. It's just so out of touch with the working class. Some of the shit I hear him say,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he just sucks now. then he fucking became an absolute. He turned into the dude from Creep Show. I think someone else made that comparison, but that was totally him. The one who was afraid of the roaches.
Oh,
he was
yeah,
that
yeah.
during the lockdown for pretty much like 3 years. You know.
Yeah.
That Howie bug got you done. Yeah, man. He used to be he was great, man. He was great. But, you know,
He
on
used
the
to be
bright
great, yeah.
side,
His show used to be great, whatever. I don't know if that was a persona or even now, because I feel then we were seeing the real Howard, and now,
Yeah.
like, I don't like when people are phony, and I'm not saying whether it's because you want to agree with him or not agree with him. I just feel like right now he's being a 180 either on purpose or, like you said, not to get canceled. But I definitely feel like it's a playing a card than more sincere or genuine.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then I feel duped as a fan because from when I'm, like I said, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, 20, college, all my, Stern was always on, especially as a New Yorker in my house, so was that the big dupe? Because what's worse, you know what I mean? Him being a phony now or him being the phony then?
I'll tell you the good news on that, right? Because I kind of have an answer to that. The good news is wasn't just Howard. It was everything around Howard. It was the fans. It was the whack pack. It was, I understand. Yeah, he decided certain things, but
Yeah,
Jackie,
the celebrity
Fred,
super fans, right?
Celebrity super. There's so much. It grew beyond Howard. You know what I mean? So there was a lot that went into that cake, to make it good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this too. The best thing about Howard taking off all that shit, like the clip we just played. Again, they might fucking jack ours because we're playing clips from it. I'm gonna risk it. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
But the best thing was I ended up filling that void by listening to Patrice O'Neal, Colin Quinn, then going on to the Opie and Anthony show because I was like, I wouldn't listen to other radio shows. I was a straight Howard fan. And that's it. The show's long enough. What am I going to listen to? 2 fucking 3-hour 4-hour shows a day? Like, no, I ain't built like that, So, so I would listen to Howard pretty exclusively, and then, they took the shit off. And then, I was like, well, I like Patrice. And then I saw that Patrice had by the way, look up Patrice O'Neal if you have not. Just listen to him. His stand-up is outstanding. His podcast stuff or in radio stuff is the stuff of legends, I should say. So, that dude, some of the best advice you're gonna get. Great stories,
Yeah.
But listening to that, I ended up getting onto Bill Burr and Jim Norton and Louis C.K. Whole other world there that I totally avoided because Howard had my attention like that.
Yeah,
Stupid
me too. No, same here. I'm in the same exact boat.
Yeah, but hey, we have that back catalog. I even subscribe to Compound Media, which I got to renew my subscription. But I'm a broke motherfucker, guys. But we'll get my money again soon, I promise. But yeah, I got introduced to that, and I actually think it. Looking back, Opie and Anthony had the better show. Even in retrospect, they had the better show, and I was too busy on the Howard Stern show. Even though it was a good show, I don't want to take away from that, but Opie and Anthony was a better show. It had the better comedy. It was deeper comedy. They had better conversations, more real talk.
Yeah.
Anthony was genuine. Even with the beef with Opie, that's its own thing. But shit, it's a great fucking Jim Norton. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because Norton was the thing. Because I'm like you. I was a Stern devotee, and even at the time, Opie and Anthony was the afternoon show. So I was done. I was done with radio by then. Whether I was a young kid going to school, or by the time I did some college, or by the time I was working, it was like the radio was the morning time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, while you eating breakfast and get ready for school and fucking driving there, whatever the fuck, right?
Yep, so by the afternoon drive-in show, I wasn't even into that, whatever age I was, I was just into other activities at that time.
Smoking pot at the park by then. Listening to
playing guitar, playing
listening to
Freebird.
Pearl Jam, Spin Doctors.
Totally. Yeah, playing hacky sack and shit.
Playing hacky sack, right? Exactly. So
yeah, and then I later got in, and I was buying into the radio wars of Stern versus O&A. So I was like, yeah, who are these O&A guys? Obviously trying to be edgy, and because at that time too, like the Oafster, the Oafster voice was like out there more in my head. Like I wasn't real. I knew Anthony as like the other guy. You know, but it was more just like Opie Radio, doing the Oafster. This is so far out, man. Like, definitely trying to be edgy, you know. But eventually, because of Jim Norton and Patrice, right? Patrice was that one of those rare guests that crossed over.
He went on both.
I wanted to hear Patrice. I think one of the clips later on YouTube, and I'm going back a couple of years ago already, was Patrice tells why he won't go on Howard anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I got to hear that. I don't really know these O&A guys. I know the Oafster.
Right.
Patrice, hearing how Patrice felt disrespected on the show, and then hearing O&A side for the first time, really, you know what I mean? And not just hearing the Stern side of that radio war. I was like, oh, these guys don't seem so bad, you know? And then Jim Norton really won me over. And
he's fucking awesome.
He was, especially when you first discover Norton too, you know what I mean? And I'm half Irish too, so he just has that bitter fucking piss and vinegar Irish blood, you know? When those Jimmy hates this or Jimmy hates that clips were going around, that's when I really got into the O&A stuff, just to hear Jimmy's rants. And then I liked his characters. I liked Chip and all that stuff. And then when you start getting into Anthony, and sorry if anybody doesn't like the Anthony Cumia of today. I know he's been quote unquote canceled, but going back before that, when Anthony would be doing the Anthony impressions, oh my God. Or just some of his stories about growing up in California on a ranch. I was like, holy shit, this is a
his babysitter.
Banging his babysitter. Right, So, his friend literally being shot by like a neighbor, like I don't know if you heard that story where one of the adults actually shot the kids, you know. Oh my God. That's when I fell in love with O&A. But yeah, you're right, the comedy stuff, because you know, Louis C.K., another one, all these guys, because even Bill Burr doesn't get along with Anthony anymore. So, but before all of that, that show was the shit with the comics they had on and the conversations they were having, and no bits, no skits, because that's another thing I loved about Howard. But I could have done without some of the Holly Weird squares. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that shit was stupid.
Done without, exactly. You know,
and they started leaning on the whack pack for everything, and I'm like, yo, all right. You know, there were some good conversations go on. Yeah, and listen, you actually touched on something, because O&A, the show rather, like they dealt with those same issues with like a mature comedy. You know, I'm sure they wouldn't say that. They probably wouldn't say that. I don't know, but absolutely, in my opinion,
describe it themselves. But you're right. I know what you're saying. As a listener, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, they didn't need a fucking skit to talk about race. They just straight talked about it, and it wasn't like, it was Anthony talking to Patrice O'Neal, saying shit to his face, and vice versa. You know, nothing, and there was never any hatred. It was always a good talk. It was funny. And, you know, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they ended up becoming really good friends up until Patrice passed away. But I don't know. I don't know how close they were, but they were, you know, they were friends at a certain point. But yeah, man. And I mean, that's just one example. But they touched on all those issues, and it didn't rely on a fucking skit. I don't even think they did skits. Just right? I'm trying to think. The closest thing is Chip.
In the early days, O&A was like all those guys that were in the shock jock thing. So they
were doing the shock stuff, the contest.
Right.
The contest show, the WoW, they did that, like the WoW Wendy's, whip them out.
Yeah, whip them out Wednesday. And again, that was all Oafster, because the Opie, if you like go back, he was always trying to keep the show and get stuff to go viral or whatever, you know, or just, you know, to be spoken about, big buzz around the water cooler back then before viral was a thing.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, man?
But then it evolved, right?
Yeah, some of that shit worked. He hit some of those things landed. Maybe not everything. Like there was the church incident. You know,
Yep.
yeah, and not to be cryptic for the audience here, there was a contest on the old school Opie and Anthony where there was what's the weird places to go have sex, right? Was that it?
Well, that was one. They were doing like almost the equivalent to a scavenger hunt or something like that. So yeah, maybe it was right. Weirdest place to have sex things, and I guess they put a church on the bottom of the list just as a joke. But to them, they said it was a joke.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I have a feeling we're getting the story wrong, but but I'll get the ending right. They found a couple. They found a couple having sex inside of a church, and
St.
it was
Patrick's
for
Cathedral.
the great St. Patrick's Cathedral. Yeah, they were having sex in there. They got, and it came out that it was to do it for the Opie and Anthony show. So, you know,
And even
like,
I wasn't listening then. I wasn't listening.
Yeah,
That
me
was
neither.
only like a news blurb I read about. New York shock jocks O&A fired for their sex scandal game. Whatever they called it.
Yeah, no, but even like that's about the extent of it. The rest of it was like them talking and bullshit and
Yeah, because
really
after they
being
got
entertaining.
rehired, yeah, when they came back, to O&A's credit, even Opie, the Opster, like
Yeah.
all that shit was done. They were
Yeah.
done with that.
Yeah. I think they tried to bring it back at one point. It didn't work.
Well, every
Like on
once in a
the
while,
Kumi
there'd be
show.
like some crazy guy that from one of the interns from Ron and Fez would come in and do something wacky, but it was never like how Howard would have a staff meeting and they would plan out what whackpacker would come in or what baloney they were going to be tossing at some chick. You know what I mean? Like the Howard
Yeah.
Stern had meetings and writing, and they planned it all as to where when O&A came back, any kind of time they had like a skit or a bit or whatever going on, it did feel like genuine and random when some wacky guy would just come in and they would let them do something like, you know what I mean? Like the vomiting thing that one of Joe Rogan's appearances on O&A was when some intern was agreeing to let somebody else vomit in his mouth, and then Joe Rogan was like puking and Bobby Kelly was puking, but it seemed very organic. You know what I mean? Even if technically that was one of the days they did a bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
It was still just off the cuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? We're saying that. Yeah, the puke one. That's just crazy. So, fuck, what else we got? All right, so to bring it back to Howard Stern. Howard Stern is getting himself, just to kind of segue to the next section here. He's headed in one direction, folks. All right, and you tell me if this is a place. Yeah, and you tell me if this is a place you want to go to.
I'm listening.
Let's go.
You. Yes, you.
Me?
Do you dread waking up in the morning? Are you feeling helpless in your society? Perhaps even a bit lost? Well, look no further. At the Capitol, we offer an escape, a new beginning, a lifetime of unending joy. We have an abundance of attractions so captivating, you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. Let's take a look, shall we? Take a ride on the Cosmic Carnival. Let go of decisions and let the carnival choose each thrill for you. Simply sit back and soak in fun. Getting hungry? Make your way to Brightside Bistro, where you can feast until your heart's content. And if that's not enough to satisfy your craving, choose from our exquisite line of automatons, a companion
Barbie movie,
tires and always obeys. As you traverse our radiant metropolis, bring our latest gizmo, the mood on the go. With the swipe of the thumb, you can instantly and experience any emotion you wish. You can also use it to instantaneously replace your companion if things go south. How convenient. And our most popular attraction, the Dream Machine. Relive your most cherished moments in vivid, extraordinary detail. No need to cling to old photos. I love you. Live in the past forever. You might be wondering, what's the cost for such a paradise? Well, dear viewer, some prices aren't paid in gold or silver. We only ask you for one thing: your identity. We'll need the very core of who you are. It's a small price for a lifetime of unending joy, don't you think?
I see where you're going now, Sith Lord.
And no need to fear crime or violence.
This is where Howard's
We'll always
going?
keep an eye on you.
Oh, yeah.
For your safety.
Creepy.
Welcome back to Spot the Odd One Out. Remember, in the capital, wearing a smile is the norm. However, a few seem to occasionally slip up. No worries. This is your golden opportunity. If you see someone forgetting their grin, report them to us and stand a chance to win fabulous rewards.
Wow, what is this?
We'll make sure to turn their frown
Upside down.
upside down.
So, if you're up for it, come visit the capital. We're only a smile away.
Interesting. Is that a show or a movie? Was that a trailer?
Nah, man. So a big shout out to this dude who I have no clue who he is, Aze Avora. I gotta give him a subscribe. I thought I subscribed already. My apologies. And of course, thumbs up here. This is an AI generated just little short he did.
Wow.
All right. So
yeah.
What a difference. Just our second episode was doing the AI commercials, remember? And that one, this one looks leaps and bounds. There's definitely certain parts, like you can tell, like when they're eating. I mean, now we're just talking about the technology at this point, but
where you can feast until your heart,
you know, like the AI can't get eating and drinking quite right yet.
Right.
And if that's not enough to satisfy your craving,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it works. It's frightening.
Yeah. Other than that, this looks outstanding technology wise. Now the concept in itself is really cool. It actually reminds me of it's like there's a game on Xbox. I'm almost positive he used this as inspiration, but basically it's like, yeah, you got to take your joy, and it's in a pill form, you know, and like when you take this pill, everything is everything looks like great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything is pleasant.
Happy
You
pills.
know,
Right.
happy pills. Literally, they're called joy, right? So like, and if you don't take your joy, you start like waking up and like in the game they show someone making a birthday cake, and they're about to blow out the candles, and someone's hitting a piñata, and then the joy starts wearing off, and it's like there's a dead rat on the table, and the dude's hitting a rat with a club. Like this, it's a disgusting reality going on.
Wow.
So, you know, I thought that's definitely very reminiscent of this. You know, especially even the designs, like they're wearing masks and stuff. Like, did you forget to take your joy? You know, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Game was all right. I think it's called We Happy Few or something like that. But
No, that's cool, and the concept's cool.
and yeah, I mean, shit, this dude made a great product here. Again, look up Capital of Conformity. Please give it a like and subscribe. This dude's gonna do a part next to it. So look, here's a comment. The fact that this is AI generated actually kind of adds to the creepiness of it.
It certainly does.
That's actually very true. Very
I'm
true.
taking that as a warning.
Yeah. Pretty soon I'll be able to AI generate my Terrifier versus the Ninja Turtles movie. I could just AI generate it.
Hey, shit. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Might as
It's
well,
gonna
yeah.
look so bad if I try
Yeah,
to
you
do
never
it.
know. And by bad, I mean good.
Yeah, you know, like Michael Jackson, how he was bad at the end of his career. No.
Yeah.
All right, but all right, yo, I think we should wrap up on that note.
Yeah, this turned into the Howard Stern chicken commentary.
Not quite, frankly. I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
name
wasn't
that.
being such a phony, and we're not the only ones too. That's why we mentioned earlier. I was sending you some clips early this morning, and it was again the comedian Mark Norman. I like him. He's pretty funny. But yeah, him and Steve-O talking about the old Stern stuff. There's so many podcasts. about talking about the new Stern show and how bad it is and how much of a phony he either was or is now. You know, nobody likes that. I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on. Nobody likes a phony. You know what I mean?
Phony. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, family. Nobody likes a Family Guy character.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it I don't know. It's all fucked, ladies and gentlemen. It's all fucked.
No, before we sign out, how do you feel about, or like, you know, because we've touched on some stuff too. Like, I want to know, like, all the times that Howard has been in drag, have you seen that different? Like, when you look back at his book and all the times he did drag, about maybe like 4 or 5 times on TV.
Yeah, he did that a lot.
At the time,
really added up.
Yeah, I at the time I didn't care. I was just like, oh, okay, because it was just a thing. Like, so in Europe, like, I see those moves differently now, but I don't know. Was that just 90s comedy? Were people just wearing dress? Was just that always just a thing?
All right, so now we're definitely treading into, quite frankly, territory for sure, because this is definitely their specialty. All right.
Yes. Shout out to Quite Frankly, right?
I listen to almost every episode. You know.
Me too.
Start to
Anyone
finish.
is, yeah.
It's very rare if I miss it, by the way. But but yeah, we'll touch on this only because he's in the news. You know, but
it's funny. It's probably. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just I'm glad you brought up the podcast, Quite Frankly, because one of the hosts, Sam, one of the girls there, she was the first one to bring up and really not let it go, and not like in an antagonizing way, that Howard might be more gay than he let on or something like that, or maybe that him and Ralph have like a real thing, and not as like a joke, like, you know,
real.
Yeah, busting balls. Yeah, I'm giving her a shout out now. Sam, I'm sorry, I don't know your last name. She's really funny, actually. But on the Quite Frankly podcast, she really will be like, no, Howard Stern is 100% like a closeted gay. And I'm not trying to out anybody or anything like that. I'm just saying, looking back on all the Howard stuff when he was in drag, is just, you know, makes me look at it a little different, you know. Not hating
you know.
Just
it just makes you wonder.
Yeah, you know what? Let me stop rambling. What do you think about that? Because that was a question. That started out as a question.
As a question, you know. Hey, totally cool. But I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I definitely think he's, you know, there's definitely a strong possibility that he's hiding something, that it's closeted shit with Ralph. You know,
shit with Ralph. Again, another thing I just thought was busting balls. But looking at it now, I'm just like, yeah, they do.
Oh, wait a minute. I actually had an episode in my head. You remember? And quite frankly, if there's an odd chance this gets to you guys, I don't know if you talked about this on the podcast. Like I said, I've listened to a lot, almost every episode. But there was an episode of Howard Stern with Artie Lang. I can't remember if it was George Takei or who else was on there. But they all started betting money, and then they had Sal and Rich like strip down, lick each other's balls, do all sorts of shit. Like, do you remember this?
Yes.
And like this is one of the few times that I'm like, I'm not watching this shit. And we had like, and I felt like I just started clicking ahead, and that shit went on for a minute, man. Like, I'm like, yo, but that definitely, watching that or seeing that happen, and then, quite frankly, now I have to hear it, quite frankly, like break it down, you know, excellently.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow.
Because there was
Artie,
a few, even Artie back then was like, all right, where is this show going? On the air, he'd be like, all this stuff with Sal and Richard, and
yeah.
He was the only one like calling it out. That would lose me a little bit too. But I feel like there was a few episodes like that. Like, there were like 2 very heavy George Takei influenced Richard and Sal segments with the nudity and the touching buttholes, and Brett and
Yeah.
Richard, if they would make out, or right. Oh, and then there was the paint the penis contest. You know what I mean? Fast forwarding
Yeah.
through that, right? And then they were
Yeah.
trying to get Richard to kiss his. I was just like, I don't know what's going on
What are
here.
y'all doing? Right,
Yeah.
yeah. Stick with the I'm a turtle shit. That was fucking great. I'm a turtle. Yeah, that classic.
Yeah.
Zero
Yeah.
sexuality, zero homoeroticism in that one. But
Yeah, but even Artie was like, "Where are we going with
where are
these
we
shows?"
going with this? What's going on? But that episode, he was throwing money on it. Artie was throwing money on it, and I think
Oh,
he was
was he
doing
too?
it
Yeah.
to try to fit in. I could almost sense it, but I can't read into it. I wasn't there. I have no clue what these people are feeling. You know what I mean? But like, this is
Yeah.
just me, get talking garbage, right? But yeah, it's like I remember he was like, "All right, fuck it, I'll throw it on this, like $100 if you do that." I forgot how the show went, but it was like, yeah, he ended up like licking his balls and shit. It's so fucking gross.
Wow,
Like,
wow, yeah, they did some kind of tank thing. I think Richard let Sal teabag him or something like that.
he let him teabag him, and he licked his balls. I think Rich licked Sal's balls, or the other way around.
That's
I
right.
yeah.
I think
And
Rich licks Sal's balls, right? And he puts his tongue just to his balls for like 1 second. That's right. I do remember that.
The reason I know this is because as I'm skipping ahead, right? Like I'm going, like you skip ahead and it freezes on a shot. You skip it ahead and you freeze it on a shot, right? So I'm like going every minute, every 2 minutes. I'm like, yo, get past this fucking part. And it was like maybe like 3 or 5 minutes in or so. I don't remember. This was like years ago. But it was like it stopped and you just see fucking dude's tongue on his. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, come on,
like,
Richard.
oh my god, stop. But look, hey, Opie and Anthony never had nothing like that on their show. Even when they had Geisha going to like gay people on or whatever, it was not that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. And then Howard got into the whole Cocktober thing. I think then by the time Artie left, this is where the show was already turning.
Yeah.
But then like George Takei would come in and they would have the judge the penis contest, and it's funny once. But then it became a yearly thing. It was Cocktober, and then it wasn't just the judging contest. The whole month, almost every day, they purposely had some sort of penis segment.
Yep.
And
Howard had to taste all of them. No, sorry, no.
Yep. Had to get a drink from them all.
This one's good, Robin. No, right? No, but yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, that's gonna be the Omega Howard Stern plays when he comes out as bisexual or gay in like 5 years or something, or like some deathbed confession.
Yeah, his tell-all book. No, the last few million he'll get paid to write the book. He'll be out of radio by this point,
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Obama's hot, Robin. He's gay too.
Yeah. Rob, I always fantasized about Obama, Robin.
Right. So fuck, man. I mean, shit. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I guess I'm gonna label this not quite frankly.
Yeah, that's funny. Shout out to them because again, they really and at first. And if they hear this, just know I love them now. But I even said to you, I don't know if I'm always agreeing with what they're saying because I remember I don't know, like we were
You
sharing.
didn't know if he was gay. He was it was all about him being gay. There was like a lot of that going on.
Yeah, so I remember even prefacing it to you, like, here's this cool clip. I'm not 100% agreeing with it, but they're the first show to like that for the fans that felt like the show just fell off and dropped them. Like that, quite frankly, became important. You know what I mean for that whole Stern world. So they definitely had my eyes.
I'm gonna come
differently. Yeah, I just did. Talking about all this George Takei cock.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh, George Takei, how insufferable is he now?
Guacamole. Yeah, another big disappointment. And I liked him for a long time. It's just anytime anybody's. Because it's a little hypocritical. Because there's another thing too. It's like, and I hope this doesn't get us flagged or anything. But let's go there. Fuck it. This is the Stern episode. Because George Takei admitted to having like a summer fling while George Takei was young, maybe I think he said he was like 18, 19, and he had a fling with one of his male camp students. who was like maybe 16, 17 at the time. Do you remember that when
Yeah.
George Takei told
Yeah.
that erotic story? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then all of a sudden George Takei was getting some heat. You know what I mean? Being like, oh, was this an underage boy? And was this taking advantage and stuff like that? And George Takei was like,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't like that. It was different times. I was a teenager. Yeah, it was young, whatever. He chalked it up and then tied it all off with, and, you know, I was just on the air having fun. What I thought with my friends. I was just telling this story, like Howard coaxed me into, like, oh, shut up, George Takei. Nobody coaxed you into telling this story. At the time, you were telling it so gay proudly, and that's fine. I'm glad he's proud, but he was telling this story
He
about
had
having
muscle.
yes, his blonde. He was an Adonis. His blonde hair, and a young
Yeah.
17-year-old camper, and I was the counselor, and I was a little older. Now, granted, it's just a few years,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, yeah, you know, he did say that story on air and then tried to spin it like, oh yeah, it was just coaxed into saying it, or the environment. He was trying to blame Howard in some way that he like pried it out of him. Meanwhile, he gleefully told it to everyone on the air, you know. And at the time, no one cared. They were like, oh, George, good for him, young and in love, you know.
I
But
smeared
now
his
it's
butt
like,
with
yeah,
guacamole.
you know. But don't be a two-faced motherfucker and just be like, oh yeah, Stern, and the show peer pressured me into telling stuff where I didn't mean to give details, maybe exaggerations, maybe you're on the air. It's like you gave all this spun around stuff. Like just tell your story, just stick to it.
Yeah. It's funny. All this shit, you know, it's the stuff that led to my red pilling. And this is, you know, I'm thinking about it, and yeah, it was like my love affair with Howard Stern. Like when that was part of it. Once that ended, that really started my path on being red pilled, man. I don't know. I don't know if there's a direct correlation there, but shit, man. You know, because it's funny because yeah, the O&A show was already red pilled. Like that was a very red pill show. For especially for its day.
Because Opie always claims, either day he's like, I'm not a Republican. Opie's like, I don't take no sides. I don't pay attention to politics. But
I still think that's red pill. And that to me, I don't take that as Republican. I'm not. That doesn't mean Republican. That's more Matrixy term when I say that shit, because I'm not a Republican. By the way, yeah. I'm not a Republican. You know, even though I'm pro Trump and shit. Yeah. But you know, the thing is
Jim Norton was definitely more left leaning, neutral, whatever, for the show. Even at that time, you know, I guess Anthony was the only for real staunch Republican. You know what I mean? Or conservative.
Yeah, but again, all of it, even like Patrice. Patrice was red pilled, and he was a Democrat, but he was red. He was more red pilled when it came to like women and dating and relationships and stuff like
Patrice
that.
was surprising that his insight was so fucking brilliant and smart, and I don't like use that loosely or just to kiss his ass, but he was a motherfucker who would be like, one, and whatever, we all shouldn't judge any book by any cover, but you'd be like, oh, I'm curious what this guy's opinion is, and in your mind we all have presets of people on their just their looks and personalities, so you kind of assume, you know, what people might be thinking. Patrice was always shocking in what he had to say, and would wipe my mind of like, oh yeah, just keep a clear mind. You know, it could be any walk of life, could have any kind of opinion that could teach you something, you know. Patrice was one of those guys who doubled down on that for me, where I was like, oh yeah, he would say some shit that you would just not expect, and it'd be smart. It'd be some smart shit that
he's
you know.
Fucking genius, yo. Yeah, there's a genius. There was a genius to Patrice that, you know. It's funny. I told you I saw Nick DiPaolo live less than a year ago. I want to say over at Side Splitters in Tampa, and he had like a little Q&A thing that I did, and I got to ask him. I think I asked him a couple of questions, but the one I remembered, I asked him, I was like, yo, if Patrice was alive today, do you think he'd be woke? Like, would he be woke? You know, because I go back and forth on it. And Nick was like, no. You know, he'd always like skate the edge like he does, you know, but he wouldn't be woke. I think he'd be canceled before he got woke. He said something along those lines. I don't know the exact quote. But
that's from the story was like, no. Right.
Yeah, he knew him directly. And I think they were really good friends. They were so good that Comedy Central made sure to not have him or Anthony on the Patrice O'Neill documentary that they did, like the two most
Yeah,
fucking
right.
like
Where he was
two of the
actually personal friends with Nick, and great, you don't have him on. And then with Anthony, maybe they weren't the tightest of personal friends, but had some of the best on-air public conversations
yeah
that were ever put out on the radio. You know, those
yeah
O&A, specifically Patrice and Anthony discussions were great. I read everybody, especially young males. Sorry, but there'd be relationship advice in there. There'd be some race talk, political talk. You know, some talk about just general, like Patrice like went to prison over some shit or was arrested at one time. That whole crazy story he tells was fascinating. So yeah, but like you said, yeah, they talked about everything. You know, nothing was off limits.
Nothing was off limits. Yeah.
And nothing was out of hate, right? And nothing was out of hate.
No, nothing was out of like there was like a few times shit got like heated or whatever, but hate, I would never say that word. You know what I mean? I think the one that was maybe the closest to it was what it was, the Patrice versus Bill. Oh, and of course, obviously, wait, let's not be clear here. Their last O&A together podcast radio show when they split. All the fucking dirty laundry started coming on the table. Remember, like that. All right, so yeah. Besides that bad ending, and of course, then again with Jim Norton a few months later after that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. The
Yeah.
on-air fucking yeah, like that shit. Like those were their weaker moments, you know. I don't know, maybe not. Some of that was pretty compelling to listen to, but
yeah,
like
it was.
Yeah, their comedy stuff though, pure gold, man. Like it is still funny. It holds up tremendously. So you know, guys, definitely look that stuff back up.
And not just the laughs, right? And if you just want good, like insightful conversations, yeah, exactly. And it's not even just going for all the, you know, the yucks, going for all the jokes.
And you know what? Especially and again, even more so again to old Howard fans, because a lot of Howard fans missed out on this stuff like we did, and only heard about Opie Anthony what Howard said about it. You know, there are of course far better people than me that are big boys enough to know, hey, I can like both shows, no big deal, you know, whatever, whatever. But I wasn't quite there yet. I was a piece of shit, more a piece of shit than I am now. But you know, so like I didn't know I wasn't thinking so good, you know.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
yeah.
And then
So,
back then, we can't even go yet because we got to talk about the wrap-up show, because that's another thing. You made a good point earlier where it was like we were doing the Howard in the morning. You're like, yeah, I got my radio fill. And then later when we were like going back and checking out the YouTube stuff, clips and all this stuff, that's when I got into the wrap-up show.
Yeah.
So even that was fucking great. And then so that between the show and the wrap-up show, that'd be a good portion of my day. And so I was just like real hesitant, like, I don't need another radio show. I'm good with the Stern stuff, the wrap-up show. And then so that was another reason why I was just like, oh, okay, I guess the O&A, I don't hate them. I have no reason to hate them. I guess it sucks. I don't like what they're saying about Howard, but whatever.
Right.
But then, to be honest, the wrap-up show started to change too. So after, like, even when Howard was still on YouTube for free, they'd be posted like within the few hours. I noticed the wrap-up show had changed even by then too. So the wrap-up show started getting so boring that the more I got into like the Jim Nortons, the Patrice stuff, and Anthony Cumia, that's when I really dove into O&A. Like I went back to the beginning. And other than some, you know, at least whatever's posted, I've fucking seen, you know. Because I dove into them hard, and a lot of, again, that was also when the Howard Stern show and the Rapper show, when that took a dive down, that just left that avenue where I was feeling empty to go look into the O&A stuff. So in a way, I'm glad it did.
Yeah. So I mean, again, listen, man, like
the Rapper show used to be great too.
Yeah, and it would. I just wish Howard wasn't so fucking phony, you know, because again, it's so weird because I don't know. I think he fucked himself so hard in so many ways that I don't think we'll ever really know. You know, I think a lot of shit has been like over hyped. I don't know, like about how how he's doing or whatever, what's going on in his life and what he's got going on. But I mean, like, he just destroyed his legacy, kind of, or like
really
he's
did.
actively doing it, I should say, by like first off denying the good shit that he did in the past. No, I've always been this boring, dull motherfucker that you see now. I'm this, but now he's totally denying that, and he's trying to scrub it. Asshole.
Yeah.
Like 20, 30, 40, 50 years when, if we're still lucky enough to be on here, and people aren't going to get to listen to that stuff. And it's not just his legacy. That's Jackie. That's again Artie. That's Gilbert Gottfried.
Artie, yeah. Or again, all those people he doesn't really hardly even mention.
Oh shit.
Or has cut out in any replay.
Yeah. Sorry, I just dropped my fucking. That's why my camera's off. It keeps falling. But shit, man. Yeah. And so all those things are gonna go unheard. Even the racist stuff. Not all of it was funny. I'm not thinking it was like, oh, you said a racist.
Yeah,
in fact, and Chuck knows me from way back in the day. We didn't just get together for this podcast, but he knows that I kind of had low tolerance for like racist shit. You know what I mean? And like I slowly had to get over that stuff. Again, all that's tied into my red pilling. But I used to get like butthurt for racist jokes and shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, that isn't really cool, man. Really, you're gonna go, but slowly but surely, it's ironically enough, kind of Howard Stern's humor helped me get over that shit. I'm like, it's racist, but it's funny. I can't not laugh at it. Yeah, now forget it. I mean, now I'm just so desensitized. I mean, shit. You can go to Civil War jokes. I might laugh. No, I'm just kidding. But
and it wasn't really like racist. It was more if you want to say distasteful. You know what I mean? If you want to say like the comedy in the 80s and 90s a little more distasteful, okay, fine.
Sure.
But to be honest, a lot more people were laughing to that those distasteful jokes. Because the jokes don't hurt anyone. I never heard a punchline.
Yeah. So like he helped, and so ironically he helped me get over that shit because again, as even though Chachito didn't talk like this, and OJ, what was the OJ one? Hello there, OJ don't talk like this. I mean, he didn't, even though that shit wasn't true. Those fucking episodes were funny.
Yeah,
they were funny,
right? And
they're funny now.
Is that they're right? It's that like ludicrous speed and Spaceballs. It's so fast. It's stupid. Of course it's so stupid. Okay, we're laughing at the absurdity of it, right?
Right. But it's like now, it's like ironically, he's the one who's getting me over it. So now I had so now I am the one who has to fucking be like, damn, Howard, like I'm edgier than Howard. There is no fucking reality where that is possible. I'm edgier than Howard Stern. Right. Really? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Shit.
That is sad if true. Absolutely tragic.
Sad but true.
Sad but true. So, fuck it, man. All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's do
fuck it. We're doing it live. We went random OG style on the Howard Stern dog.
Yeah, total improv.
That's it. We're doing it live. We're saying fuck it.
All right. Let's see. Share this tab instead. Oh man. Oh, by the way, when I played pool this Wednesday.
Yeah.
The one that just passed.
Pardon me.
I won.
Nice.
With a golden break.
What does that mean?
That means I broke the table. I broke the rack.
Right.
The 8-ball went in the pocket in the break.
Oh, meaning you win?
Automatic win.
Wow, nice. And they call that the golden break. I like that.
Golden break, yeah.
Damn. So did you walk out like a G? Did you just be like?
That was it. That was how I won the match. That was the tiebreaker match.
Put your cue away. Shake
Fuck
hands.
yeah.
Go get yourself a shot of whiskey.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We did. Actually, I did fireballs. couple fireballs, and I,
Nice, yeah. That's the spicy. I like for good fireballs every now and then.
Yeah,
New Year's Eve, on the holidays, I'll drink a little fireball. In fact, I might do a little Doers right now.
I sip it. Or like I'm in a out of the shot glass, like a little,
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But yeah, so, and I take a little sip, drink some beer, take a little,
Yeah, that's what you
savor
gotta
it.
do. Like a gentleman, right? Exactly. Especially after a win. You don't have to just shoot a back gun. You could if you wanted to, but yeah, exactly. You're in the moment, you sip it like a gentleman, Especially if you're enjoying it by yourself. I mean, does someone be like, hey, let's do, let's throw them back?
Yeah, no.
Somebody else. All right, yeah, I'll throw one back.
We'll throw it back.
Yeah. I've nursed a few shots in my day. In fact, I'm gonna nurse one right now if we do a hate watch.
Lucky. Oh, hell yeah. All right, so let's actually do the preview of the hate watch. I'm actually looking for the damn thing here. Oh, here it is.
What you
This
got?
is it right here. All right, so where's the trailer? The trailer. Okay, here's the trailer. Here we go.
Finally. I'm right back to hating that.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Exactly. Any minute now. Jamie, do me a favor. Pull that up, Jamie. Fault.
Great timing.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah. What are we doing here? You're looking for a trailer? Is that what's going on?
I'm gonna fucking die laughing. I thought we're watching it together.
Oh, no, so far
it's hilarious. I'm just all quiet here.
Yeah, so I'm like, hello.
Fucking awesome. I'm like, I thought you were commenting on the video. Oh
no, I'm talking directly to you.
Oh, ironic. That must have been great for the show.
Man. Yeah, leave that in. Don't cut that part out. Do the opposite of the chipper. Leave it in, babe. You gotta go all the way back now. You gonna say it's take me. You gotta be like Rocky.
One more
you gotta take me back and pump that volume. I'll keep my mouth shut, but turn the volume all the way up, please.
Okay, volume all the way up.
More. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, right. Turn it up to 11.
Oh, already this movie's meant to get you, huh? Okay. So dark, I can barely see.
I know, right?
Is this a scary movie? Just tell me, are they ghosts in this movie?
I'll let you see it.
Oh, if they would have shot it, even in candlelight, would have been better. But whatever this fucking black rewind is. It looks like an alien. Oh, you did say aliens. All right. See, you're getting me with the alien stuff. What if it's a shit movie? What if it's a shit movie? Oh, damn. I hope they're not giving all the way to all the best stuff now in the trailer.
Should we stop?
No.
Okay, all right. Yeah, let them dig their own fucking hole. If all the best parts are in here, you'll pay the price in it.
Exactly, especially because we were just talking about that. Never good when you see a razor blade. Didn't they do that in that movie Spawn? What movie was that? Where they make the tree come out?
Right. It's impossible.
No one will save you.
Slender Man.
Slender Man meets fucking what's that with Ash? Evil Dead.
Yeah.
All right, so was that
already on
random?
It is trying to start the movie. Look at them being slick. No, we're not watching you right now, and it's only an hour and a half, so it'll be good for the.
Okay, that would be perfect. But yeah, now I gotta see it because that had a little bit of Evil Dead, the Alien movie Signs with Mel Gibson, that had a little bit of like possession, ghost feel, some paranormal stuff going on.
Yeah, totally. And
Alright.
now we saw that. You know what it reminded me of? I think it's gonna be a lot like that one that we saw, that All Hallows Eve, that Art the Clown skit one. Remember there was that one skit with the alien invader in the house, and it was very brutal, like him just chasing this girl. Like it was not. Let me talk to you later. I mean, we've seen it with Agnes Moorehead on Twilight Zone before and all that stuff, But it was I liked it. I liked it more than Chuck here, which we have to, I guess, revisit to do the scoring.
Yeah, when we do our best of episode.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, right. But yeah, all right. So we're gonna go jump over to that. If you made it this far, guys, thank you so much for sticking.
Come with us.
Yeah, come join us at Hate Watch, which should be out of. These will start. Yeah, these will be coming out sooner than later. I promise. All right, so guys, God bless, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Toodles.